What's in my camera bag for 2025? First thing I want to mention is that not everything that you're going to see in this video is in my bag all at one time. I've been using the Brevity Jumper for the last few years now. I love this bag. It's super lightweight, very inconspicuous. No one really knows it's a camera bag because it looks just like a backpack. It's got tons of pockets, tons of storage. It can hold my camera, my drone, a bunch of lenses. It really has everything you need for everyday use. My main camera is the Sony a7 IV. It's a full-frame mirrorless camera. It's got 33 megapixels, 4K video, and a fun flip screen. You gotta have backup batteries. So I got these RAV Power batteries off of Amazon for a pretty low price. They're just as good as the Sony batteries, but cheaper, so why not? Moving on to lenses, we have the Sigma 14-24 f2.8 DGDN lens. This is my go-to wide-angle lens. The thing is built like a freaking tank. The image quality is out of this world, and it really helps you get those super wide shots. So this has definitely been my go-to since I started photography, really. It's been my main wide-angle lens that I've used all this time, so definitely check this one out. Next up, we have the Sony 35mm f1.4 G Master lens. This is probably my favorite lens that I use. It's just a really great focal length. The f1.4 and being able to shoot wide open is just an incredible feature. And everything that comes out of this lens just looks great. The bokeh is fantastic. I can't recommend this one enough. This is my absolute go-to lens. This is the Sony 50mm f2.8 macro lens. This little guy doesn't get too much use, but it's really nice to have for when you want those really detailed shots. I use it when I'm shooting cars, when I want details of like rings during weddings. I've used it for insects just to get some close-up shots of insects before. So it doesn't come out with me all the time, but it is definitely nice to have a macro lens. Last but not least, we have the Sony 85mm f1.8. This was my first lens that I actually ever purchased for my Sony camera, and it's been with me ever since. It's really nice to be able to get shots from a bit farther away. When you're shooting people, you don't want to be always up in their face, so it's really good for that. And just being able to shoot things like wildlife, nature, even if you're out in the streets, just having a little bit of room and also giving you a nice bit of compression is always helpful. So definitely got to have the 85. I recently started messing around with film cameras because my dad had found this Canon AE1 in his attic. So I took the camera, I cleaned it up, put some film in it, got some Kodak Gold 200, and just been bringing this in my travels with me. It's a very unique look, and I'm not really too familiar with film, but I'm excited to keep messing around with it and seeing what I can create. Next up, we have the drone. I'm rocking with the DJI Mavic 3 Pro. This thing is a tank. It's probably the best quality drone that you can get at this point, and it's got a 20 megapixel Hasselblad camera with 3 different lenses on it. It's got a 24mm, 70mm, and a 166mm. So wherever you're flying with this thing, you can absolutely capture great images. Let's talk about flash. In my hands is the Godox V862S, and this is an on-camera flash. I use it mostly for weddings or concert photography. Pretty much anytime I'm indoors and need a bit more light. This thing is really handy. One thing that's great about it is that it can actually turn, and a lot of flashes, for some reason, they don't make all of them able to do that. You're either shooting up or shooting down, and the ability to just kind of move your flash extra, shoot vertical with it, is really, really helpful. So this is a actually inexpensive flash. I think I got it on Amazon for around like 150, 180 bucks, something like that. And it's really did amazing. So got to give it up to Godox. Now we have the off-camera flash. This thing is massive. I'm actually surprised that I'm able to fit this in my bag. I don't know how I do it, but I make it work. This thing is really great for studio sessions. If I'm shooting portraits, band photos, anything that you need a lot of light and a lot of power, this is my go-to, and it's never let me down. The thing is phenomenal. And of course, when you're shooting with an off-camera flash, you need a trigger. This is the R2 Pro S, and there's nothing more to really say about it. It works. For tripods, I'm using this K&F Concepts tripod that I got off of Amazon as well. To be honest, I don't even remember the model name. I just picked up one that looked cool and had all the functions that I needed it to have, which is really just being a basic tripod. This one does detach to a monopod as well, even though I've never used that feature, but just so you know, it can do that. But yeah, I don't really go crazy with tripod stuff. I'm using one now to film this, but I don't do anything crazy with them. Just as long as I have something sturdy that can hold my camera, fine by me. Let's dive into some accessories. To accompany with my 35mm lens, I have the 67mm black Pro-Mist filter in a quarter strength from Tiffen Filters, and pretty much all you do with this is screw it onto the front of your lens, and it creates this really bloomed highlights. Everything's a little bit more glowy and soft, and it's just a really nice vibe for a different kind of image. Lens wipes, always important. Lens wipes, clean your lenses. Don't get dust on your images. It's just gonna make photoshopping it out later harder, so clean your lenses. We've also got this Aputure RGB light, which is really handy if you want just like a pop of color, a little extra light on somebody, changes colors to whatever you want it to, and it's just nice for a little extra pop of something. That's what's in my camera bag for 2025. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for all of these items so you can check them out for yourselves. Now go out and shoot.